Okay, mine just starts steaming. You can see that steam coming out. Let me see. Okay, and also when you get water like this coming out of here, have no fear. Everything's okay. Everything will be all right. Sometimes I take it. Do you talk every time I get on this thing, Asa? No. Anywho, the people hear you being bad. Anyway, this is okay. Sometimes I wipe it off with a paper towel or the dishcloth or something, but it'll be okay. Yes, it'll get a little messy. You're going to get messy. I'm messy here, okay? But I'm doing a good thing. So right there, you can see that. See the steam. I will count 10 minutes. It is 5:05. I'll count 10 minutes. At 5:15, I put the little dancer on. Okay? And no, it's scary going up to it, but it's easy. Just go up and set it down, okay? 5:15, I'll put the dancer on. And then once you put the dancer on, then you start counting your minutes. Okay? Then you start counting your minutes. We have, what was it? 75 for pints and 90 for quarts. I want you to see this. Okay, you hear it? Making a big steam. That's what you will experience. And this is wonderful in the wintertime. Keeps your house warm. A lot of people like to can in the winter. And as soon as I turned it off, it popped up. Anywho, that's what happened seconds later. So I turned it off and turned around, it popped up. See how it popped up? Okay, now let your steam go. We got until when? 5:15, right? All right, guys, I'm looking at 5:15. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's 5:15. And this is still steaming. The front is good. Now, you take your 10-pound weight. I don't know. Did you hear that? See, it's air coming out. I think that's so cool. Okay, you take your 10-pound weight and you go over to, that's it. See? You put it on. Now, you start counting your time. Okay? 75 minutes for pints. I have pints in here, so I'll count 75 minutes from 5:15. Okay? And then 90 minutes for you quart lovers. People who, I like quarts, I don't use quarts that much, you know? So 75 for meat, pints, and 90 for meat quarts. Something else I wanted to say. When I think about it, I'll come back on. And by the way, I left this eye on 7. So 7 must be doing pretty good as far as this stove is concerned. All depends on how your stove heats, right? So 7's keeping it going pretty nice. Now we're going to wait for the hula dancer. And if it dances too fast, then you turn it down. All right, excellent. I wanted you guys to see this. It just started. Okay, see the hula dancer dancing? So far, it's kind of nice. Let's see if it goes up too high. If it starts going too fast, which I think it might. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it down. So far, so good. Yeah, that's a little fast. So let me take it from. You guys can see back here. Let me take it from 7 to, usually works pretty good, like 5 to 4 for me. See how it rocks? Let's see if that goes down a little bit. You got to give it like a minute or two. Instead of you guys waiting, I'll go ahead and put this on hold until it goes down. Okay, it's getting a little better. As you can see in the back, I had to go down to about in between 4 and 5. Yeah, now we have a nice rock. There we go. See? And then you sit down, play your game, whatever you're doing, mess with your phone, get on Facebook, make a phone call, you know, say some prayers, whatever you do, and wait. 75 minutes. And it is out. The meat is out. I turned it off, and I'm letting it sit. See, you just leave it sit. Leave everything be. When it's finished and there's no more pressure in the can, the silver thing, it says TOP on the top. The silver top thing will go down by itself. So don't touch it until it's done. It takes about a half an hour or so. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. Now I'm starting to process my ground meat. Processing my ground meat now. I'm cooking it in the pan. There were 5, I think, pound containers. I used like the round ones, the round bulbs. And starting to process my ground meat now. And I think they were like the oval rolls that you can buy. And I have 5 of them. So they should make about 4 or 5 pints once they cook down. And I'll let you know how that turns out. I added to my ground meat a package of onions, green peppers, because we usually use it for like taco meat or something. And it's cooking down, so I have to get some jars in my oven. Cooking down. And as you can see, the top went down, the little thing with TOP on it. And now, since it went down, it means the pressure is out of the jar, out of the cooker. And I can take off, see? You take it off and just let it sit. Or you can open if you want to. But I like to let the jar sit and rest for about 5 minutes, and then I'll open it. And by the way, my ground meat is ready to go in soon. I have about 5 pints here as soon as I get done with the pork. Okay, I tried to set my camera so that you can see the pot. It's not up very high, but I think you can see what I'm doing. I opened it and I'm grabbing, okay, and I'm turning it that way so the steam won't hit my face. And I will put this somewhere. All right. Okay, I hope you saw that. And now I will put this back. Thank you for your aid. And I will get the jars out. Let's see. Okay. And look. The pork is still boiling. I like to always use a towel, or I like to use a wooden board. See how it's boiling still? Because what you want to do is you want to keep the heat in. You don't want your jars to crack. Right? And the last one. Ooh, 4. And there we go. See if I can put this nice way here. All right. And there is the pork, onions, and garlic. And it will boil like that for an hour, sometimes over an hour, because it's still kind of processing, so to speak. And I wanted to say, when you don't put water in it, you will see a lot of meat at the top, like these. You'll see a lot of meat at the top. Let me see if I get it in close. See? There, it is popping. That means it's sealing. That's one seal. You'll see a lot of meat at the top when you don't add water to it. Because as you see, look at all the juices that the meat made. It made its own juice. Let me put this bigger. It made its own juice. And what some people do is they try to add juice to it. And it overflows and starts to siphon. So there you go. There's the pork. I'm going to do the ground meat next. What I did with the ground meat was, I have about 5 pints here maybe. And what you do is don't cook it all the way. Cook it part way, because in that process, whatever is in there that's not supposed to be in there, there's no botulism when you get finished with this, right? Okay, so I'll be doing that next. Ground meat, it's going to be hot pack because the ground meat is hot. I just got finished cooking it. The water is hot as well. We have you have raw pack, which is called cold pack or hot pack. This is going to be hot. And when I take the jars out of the oven, they're going to be hot. So that's hot pack. Boil, baby, boil. When you don't add water into your meat, sometimes it comes out a little ugly. You know, it's not the best looking thing. But wait till you open it up a couple weeks later or a couple months later and put it on some rice or some skets or some mashed potatoes. Telling you, never taste anything like it. Ready for the ground meat. All right, guys, I just wanted to show you this. I did my ground meat and stuff that I had, you know, onions and peppers and stuff mixed with. I had a bag of it. I think we got it from Swan's or something. There's my ground meat. See how the juice comes up? That's why you don't want to add anything extra to your meat whenever you're pressure cooking it. The juice literally is coming up from me cooking the ground. Okay, so I'm going to put this in, and I'll show you what it's, you know the rest, and I'll show you when it's done. And don't forget to wipe the rims of your jars with vinegar, especially when you're using meat. You know, the grease can drip on the rim and you'll get a bad seal. Okay, I have all of my, I washed them. You don't have to put them in hot water anymore. Ball says that you don't have to put them in hot water anymore because I think what was happening was people were putting in hot water too long and they were losing their seals because they literally melted the seal. So just wash them good, you know, and then clean your rims and put them on and then put them in hot water and count. And by the way, I'm adding more water because it boiled out from whenever I did the pork. So I'm adding it up to that white. 3 quarts of water. That's what I wanted to tell you on the other video. 3 quarts of water for a pressure cooker. 3 quarts of water only, okay? Now, for a hot water bath canner, the big blue ones, the big black ones, okay, you put your jars in and fill them up like 1 or 2 inches above the jars. That's for hot water canning. But for pressure cooking, you only have about 3 quarts of water. I just wanted to give you a little peek of my ground meat before I put the lid on. It's ready to go. Another thing I want to tell you is you cannot remove the air bubbles with a debubbler because it's packed ground meat and there's no water in it. So there's no bubbles to worry about. There's actually air. All that air that's in with the ground meat will come out during this process. So you don't have to remove the air bubbles. I'll show you what a debubbler looks like. Okay, you remember I showed you this. Okay, that magnet gets the lids for you. Okay, this, and I showed you this with the numbers on it. This is the debubbler, okay? You can turn it upside down and jab it down into your jars along the sides to make sure there's no bubbles. But when you have loose packed meat, like I do with the ground meat, you don't have to debubble, right? And my pork is done. Video to come. I'm still working on that nice slow rock. My ground meat is still in. I almost have the proper rock. It's just a little bit fast. I have it between 3 and 4. Carrying it back. So I'm getting close. Almost done, guys. It's nighttime.